Hey, what's up, Closer Nation? Welcome to another fire ass episode of the Hardcore Closer Podcast, brought to you by PhoneSites.com. Listen, I know some of y'all been sending me emails talking about some fucking guy named Jarvis. You're like, well, this other thing, Jarvis has AI too. What's it like with phone sites? Look, if you put phone sites in a ring with Jarvis gonna have to drink his motherfucking meals from a straw for the next fucking 6 months, all right? Don't fucking compare me to that weak ass shit. Our shit fucking works. So if you want to see what real artificial intelligence looks like that beats all the competition with a fucking stick, that will fucking write a whole website, paragraph, they'll write the biography of your motherfucking life without knowing who you are and be like, God damn, I'm awesome. That's when you go to phonesites.com/closer. Don't believe me? Try the shit for free. Now, welcome to the episode. What I want to talk to you guys about today, because I know you're limited on time, and I don't want to just fucking ramble on about a bunch of shit, but I want to talk to you about new money versus old money. So I got a friend with me here today, and I'll introduce him here in a couple of minutes. But, like, what is new money and old money? So first of all, let's define old money. Old money is like the way that your grandparents came up, right? They the Dave Ramsey way, right? They pay cash for their house and they pay cash for their cars, and they try to tell you you should save up and pay cash for it. Bitch, your fucking house was $3,500. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even have to save up to buy that, but they don't fucking make houses for $3,500 anymore. You guys used to go pay $600 for a Ford Mustang. A Ford Mustang's $80,000 base model right now, I believe, right? It's like some next level shit, you know? It's like, it's not the same. It's not your parents' economy. New money is Bitcoin, NFTs, fucking tokens from metaverse gaming, the new way of raising money through SPACs and acquiring debt through fucking huge multifamily syndications and storage facilities. That's new money. New money is literally making money from OnlyFans and fucking crypto and NFT launches. Old money is figuring out how to, buy stocks and retire with a fucking pension and some sort of government deal that some other asshole that gives no fucks about you or your family's legacy managing your money and taking more money off of fucking the top than you will ever see in the history of your deal. So I brought somebody today that comes from the old money world originally, but exists in the new money world now, but is literally banned from fucking Wall Street as a criminal myself. I think that's really cool. It fits the program here. But that's what we're going to have a talk about, is how money's evolving, because here's what I do want to say before I bring the guest on, is that if you don't think differently about new money, you're going to be left with old money. And I am not an economist or a Harvard, MIT rocket scientist motherfucker, but I know old money, paper money, is a dying fucking asset, and new money, like if I have a paper money, it is guaranteed to go down in value. Death, taxes, and going down in value. Those things are fucking guaranteed as an American, right? The dollar bill going down in value. But if I got some Bitcoin or some Ethereum, it might go down, but it might go up, right? We know the dollar's never going up. Like, the dollar's never going up. It might go down. It's going to go down. At least we got a fucking chance of it going up with crypto. So I want you to think of it that way. So Tony Kassaei is my guest today. He's out of Orange Beach, been in the financial industry for a long time, been a good friend of mine. We travel a lot, have a lot of fun, do a lot of working and investment deals together. He raises money for his syndicate and stuff like that. So couldn't really think of a better person to come on here and talk about this contrast.
Well, thank you so much, man. It's an honor to be here, brother. And I know you got a bunch of big fucking names on this show, man, and so for you to bring me on, it means a lot to me. And I know I'm just a name that nobody knows about, but I'm gonna tell you, man, it's not just old money, but it's stupid money. And the thing that pisses me off the most right now,
that's a good way of saying it. I like that.
It's stupid money, and I'll tell you why. Because they think you're stupid when they're telling you that inflation is now maybe 4 to 5%. Motherfucker, everything is 25% more. Is gas 5% more?
Gas is doubled.
Right?
That's the indicator
Milk,
right there. The
eggs,
thing that everybody
cheese.
has to have, gas. Everybody has to have gas. Every fucking body has to have gas. If that thing's double, that should just tell you that maybe it's the first thing, but everything else is fucking right behind it.
And then the ignorance of them to then think that people are so stupid. So if you're buying into that system, it's not just old money, you're stupid money. If you think, like right now, they were saying inflation, you lose 3 to 4% of your money every year. Bullshit.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bullshit. That's what they've been telling you for 30 years. For 30 years now, it hit a 46-year high. Oh, it's 4.7, maybe 5. Bullshit. Now, why? Let me ask you this. You're a smart guy. Why do you think they would lie to the masses to say that that's what inflation is? What do you think the motive would be?
Because if they told you that inflation was 25%, so if they told you the dollar you're working for today is worth 75 cents tomorrow, after you got taxed 35 cents on it, which means the dollar that you work for today is worth about 35 fucking cents when it's all said and fucking done, right? Like, you'd be fucking pissed. You'd probably take up arms and go fucking remove those people from office. And that's exactly what they're fucking scared of, because, or you would quit your job, right? If you found out that your money manager, you would quit. There would be a mass exodus. Vanguard, who runs fucking probably 90% of the goddamn money in the country that's managed by a money manager in one way or another, they'd be out of business because everybody would realize how much they were really getting fucked.
You nailed it. You fucking nailed it. That's what it is, right? This system is designed, and this is, by the way, I'm banned from Wall Street voluntarily. I've voluntarily walked away from all these licenses I was proud
I'm banned
of.
from Six Flags.
but you know, I mean, it was like, dude, to lose that identity, to say, okay, this is the world that I wanted. I wanted it so bad. I'd seen all the movies. I had my 66, the 24, the 7. I mean, every license. I had my own firm. I could hire you to be a financial advisor if I wanted. And it got to the point to where I couldn't talk. They have this regulatory body that's like the fucking mafia called FINRA. They pretend like they're protecting the investors. Fuck you. No, they don't. They protect the big firms. They protect the money managers. And to your point, and I knew you'd fucking get it. And I didn't tee you up for this. But, dude, the average money manager, if you Google right now money manager, that means you're paying some dude to pick stocks and shit for you, right? You're paying him 2 to 3% on average, maybe even 1 to 2%, but then there's fees embedded into it. Net of fees, the average money manager makes about 8%. 8 fucking percent, dude. A blind monkey could make fucking 8% without taking risk. And yet these guys will say, oh, sorry, it went down 30% this year because the market went 50, and they still want a fucking pat on the back. That's why they program you to think, okay, inflation's only 3 to 4. So if my dog shit annuity that I bought from the shitty insurance agency that makes me 5, oh, I'm beating the game by 1 to 2. That's what it is, bro. So that's what I mean by old stupid money. But dude, you are now pioneering the new money, right? And that's the smart money. It's funny, just the gentleman that we had on earlier, part of our investment club, one of these, like, we curate these private equity deals, some of the restaurants you and I are invested in together, et cetera. But one of these little crypto nerds comes up to us, crypto millionaires, not even nerds no more, but dude, they're nerdy millionaires.
Nerds, you know what I'm saying?
But dude, these guys have their own lingo and shit. Dude, these guys now, we're starting a fund. And dude, when I first heard about it, I was like, come on, man. I've been involved in Ponzi schemes and shit. I've heard some sketchy shit. We're now employing thousands of people in the Philippines to fucking mate these fucking animals in the digital world, and we farm them out, and 1,000 makes 13, and you're creating jobs. These Filipino guys that are making maybe $4 to $8 a day, we're now making $30 a day from our video games, and we're making a killing. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what you're talking about in the new money, and you're now pioneering this metaverse stuff, and you're actually more articulate about it than I am, and that's the shit that gets me excited about, you know, being aligned with you.
Well, you know, I think one of the big things that they made a mistake with, and this, but it's not a mistake. I think they do. I know they do this shit to confuse people so that they don't get into it, because you fear what you don't know. You hear NFTs and you go, it sounds like bullshit. You hear crypto and you go, it sounds like bullshit. And that's to keep the masses out of there, because here's what I heard the other day, and I don't know how true this is because you couldn't really prove it, right? Mm-hmm. But I heard from a very credible fucking financial source that there are more crypto billionaires, with the B, billionaires in existence right now than there have ever been billionaires in the history of the fucking Forbes 400 list, which is 25 fucking years of 25 plus years that they've been doing it. Now, again, some of those people have been on the list the whole fucking time, right? We know that Gates has been on there since its inception and shit like that. Buffett's been on there since the dawn of time. But we literally clicked on a fucking purse the other day, or wallet, on OpenSea, and the dude had like $33 billion in Ethereum. The fucking this guy's like one of the richest fucking people in the world, and that's worth more money than money. Like, cash is worth more money than euros. It's worth more money, like, because you can. It's a stable coin. You can literally convert that shit at any point. And it's big enough to where with fucking $100 billion, it still wouldn't hurt the fucking marketplace more than 5-6%, right? If you just fucking so it's like insane. And that's just one random person selling monkeys on fucking OpenSea.
Dude, what are you know, you've always been a pioneer of seeing trends or seeing shit ahead of the game. You know, back in the internet days, and you were one of the first internet marketers, and you kind of like paved the way for a lot of these guys, including myself, to kind of now build an ecosystem around these things. You've been one of the first guys that are talking about this metaverse. You're surrounded with people like Fleischman that are really heavily involved in that space. What is the quickest, easiest way for people that don't understand what OpenSea is and all this other stuff to just start playing into that game and really start picking up assets in that world?
So here's what you got to understand. Like, the force of average tries to make shit really confusing. And so what they do is they say, oh, NFTs, non-fungible tokens. And, okay, you've heard the word non. You know what a token is. What the fuck does fungible even mean, bro?
I don't know.
I thought it was like, I was like, oh, shit, they got mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, they got mushrooms with this shit. It's fucking awesome. But so let's just take that off. And let's just call it no fucking tickets. Okay, so non-fungible tokens is fucking terrible branding, right? We'll call it no fucking tickets because all that is a membership to a community that you don't need a ticket to. You need a picture of a fucking ape or a picture of a fucking alien or whatever. And so these are communities, right? So no fucking tickets. Think of it this way. So when you buy the Bored Ape Yacht Club, you're thinking, why would somebody pay $250,000 for a picture of an ape? They're not. They're not. That's where you're making the mistake. See, this is what the media and the force of average and the agents of average want you to fucking think. They want you to think that Future's a fucking idiot. The rapper is a fucking idiot, and I don't know him. He may be, but they want you to think he's a fucking idiot and that he just blew fucking $250,000 on some dumb picture, right? Well, first of all, I don't know Future, but he's not a fucking idiot. He's very fucking intelligent. He graduated with high fucking grades. He ran a very logistically ran thing on the streets, and he runs a big fucking business for his artistry music, right? So he's not a fucking idiot. Let me tell you what this is. The Bored Ape Yacht Club is a mastermind program that Pharrell and Future and Sylvester Stallone and all these other fucking, and Justin Timberlake and all these other fucking celebrities own these no fucking ticket pictures of apes that they get to meet up. Like you and I, we go do Avengers and the 100 Million Mastermind and Apex and stuff like that. And we meet for Flying Friday at Apex, or if we meet for an Avengers meetup, we go and we have this experience, right? Like I was just at one that we did where Nas came and rapped, right, and Cedric the Entertainer came and did a Q&A with Fleischman. Like that's what these are. That's all these NFTs are, right? So it's not and people think, okay, well then why are they selling the picture? Because it's not a fucking ticket, right? They're selling, that's the not a fucking ticket to get into the mastermind, right? Like if you start thinking of it that way,
it's a golden pass, right?
And guess what?
Black American Express.
So when you buy that NFT, when you buy that not a fucking ticket and it goes in your wallet, they give you a login to a Discord group. Now all of a sudden you're in a fucking chat room with Pharrell and Snoop Dogg and Future and fucking all the other favorite fucking, and more importantly, you're in a fucking chat room with only motherfuckers that can afford to throw a fucking $250,000 to be in a chat room.
In a non-fucking
And you're going to be with them in public because they spent $250,000. They're going to show up to the group because all the cool people are going to be there. This is the future of the Met Gala, where you go and you stare at art and you go, yeah, fucking cool. I guess I'm going to launder some money here, fucking Vakion and all the Basquiat and all this other shit that looks fucking weird in your house. This is the real thing where all they were trying to do in the first place was have an excuse to spend some money to get together. Now this is what the fuck they're doing. Right? That's what they end up. So if you think it was like not a fucking ticket. Now on the metaverse shit, this is my thing is breaking this shit down. But on the metaverse shit, let me tell you, you will really resonate with this, Tony. So like Web 1.0 was like the dial-up shit that we had, right? It's like the .com bubble. Remember that? You were probably working on Wall Street then. You know what I mean? And that was a big deal. Remember when companies were like, oh, shit, just Coke.com, Pepsi.com, Dr. Pepper, they got into all those lawsuits and everything else, man. That was wild times. And so that was 1.0. Social media was Web 2.0. That included, because remember 1.0, like, used to have to wait for a picture to download.
Online. And
it was frustrating, you know, and you couldn't play video games. Then video games kind of sucked. They had like Wolfenstein and shit. And then social media showed up in 2005 with MySpace, and it allowed videos to some extent. You can kind of code some shit. But then when YouTube and Facebook showed up 2010, 2012, they starting to get popular. They had been around for a minute, but they were starting to get popular at that point. That's like the beginning of Web 2.0, and that's where we're really living right now, okay? So if you think in the metaverse is an evolution. So the internet is Web 1.0. Social media is Web 2.0. The metaverse is Web 3.0, okay? So again, if I'm just breaking this down real simple, but if you want to think about it in how to get prepared, because people think, well, man, fuck, how's somebody make $2 million because they went in and they paid money and they bought a piece of land inside of a game. My kids sell shit on Roblox all the time. They go build a car, they sell it to somebody, they make money, they go back to the Roblox store, they shop for shit, make it. So that concept's been going on forever, right? But here's the big kicker with the metaverse. Okay, so for me, if Web 2.0 is social media, we have Facebook, and then I have the Sales Talk with Sales Pros groups. So that's its own little metaverse within Facebook already, the group. Think about it. You think of where they're fucking going, you can already see it. I bet you Facebook's got these fucking groups, which eventually will be fucking real groups that we fucking go in and we have these sales conversations or these fucking we like wrestling conversation or we want to argue politics conversation, whatever the fuck it is. That's where Facebook's going with this. So me, as a pioneer, I've had the fucking first step into the metaverse, a.k.a. a Facebook group or a Discord group or a Reddit group. It's already out there, right? But I've already been on this. So when I log into Web 2.0, Facebook, I'm actually going into that third dimension, into my niche segmented fucking group of sales professionals and having that conversation. That's what the metaverse has evolved into. So, but here's what you need to be thinking when you think about selling real estate in the metaverse. It's not going and logging into Decentraland or whenever Facebook finally creates theirs and launches it and all this shit. It's like, now we have an opportunity to build your own. You know, now is the opportunity, instead of trying to figure out who's to piggyback on or who's to fucking go be a part of or which one you're going to, like, now's an opportunity. Anything that this is the great thing about the metaverse too, since it's just the web, right? Anything that you have ever thought of that you wanted to exist or that you wanted to beat somebody to on Web 2.0 or Web 1.0 is totally fucking possible in Web 3.0. And the difference is on Web 3.0, we're not going to be using keyboards and mouse. We're going to be using Oculus and fucking remotes on our hand. That's the only fucking difference. So instead of sitting at a desk and using a keyboard and a mouse like we're using right now, we'll just be sitting at a desk with fucking Oculus on with the fucking handlebars running the shit through. We're doing it at home already, me and my
yesterday
kids.
On stage, I heard you say something about the copyright laws don't apply, or what were you saying about the infringement laws don't apply in that universe?
Fucking different, like,
because you've created an alternate universe.
An alternate universe, man. That's why all these fucking companies are buying up shit. It's like Apple needs to buy up where, like, let's say that you're going. So here's my theory. Facebook has been having us, and Instagram's been having us take pictures and check in all over the world for the last 10 years.
Right.
Like, that's been a 10-year program that they rolled out. They got pictures of fucking everything in the world and checked in. Like, they have mapped the fucking world. And if you'll go back to 2013 on hardcorecloser.com, I have an article where I'm telling people with a video that Facebook is fucking literally mapping the world. And now here we are. And so they're going to take those pictures and that, and they're building a simulation of everything that fucking exists. So Apple knows that. It's not released to me and you. Me and you can't log into there. We're not big money. We're not private equity like that, right? Like, well, you might be. I'm not. And so, like, they don't give us a chance. Peter Thiel's in that motherfucker, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
those guys are in there. And,
they help to design it, and they steer the products back into their own ecosystems.
What's the Napster guy that's the big, that also founded Facebook? He was Justin Timberlake. What's it?
Yeah.
He's in that. Sean, whatever his name is. He's fucking in that shit, right? Those are the guys. And what they're doing is now Facebook, Meta, we'll call them, is that map the world. They're putting those pieces of that giant jigsaw puzzle we created for them together. And these guys are going, shit, if we don't go and buy 15303 fucking North Dallas Tollway, then Stream Energy is going to beat us to that building. But if we go buy it, we can flip it to Stream because they're eventually going to have their people in it, right? So that's the big land grab right now for those guys. But the problem is you and I have a hard time going in there. And the bigger part is the guys like Fleischman's nephew Sasha, right, that bought something for $12,000 and sold it for $2.5 million 2 years ago. That means that everything was sold in that shit 2 years ago.
Exactly.
Now that doesn't mean that you can't buy it for $2.5 today and sell it for $4.5 tomorrow, but $2.5 million buy-in price is way different than $12,000. So it's almost like the shitcoin price is gone. So now it's like a stable thing. Hell, you might as well buy a real house at that point, you know.
Now, you and I came up with a really good moneymaker yesterday in the car when we talked about making an NFT around midgets. And I know that was a passion project for both you and I. Everybody's doing these apes. I'm like, what about fucking midgets? That'd be kind of cool to have an NFT around midgets.
I think so. Just what do you call it? The Short Ape Club. Yes, we would just call it the Short. Instead of Bored Ape, they would just be short. That's actually anatomically correct. They are short apes. As human beings, we are apes, right? And they're short, so we just call it the Short Ape Club. You know?
I don't even know how the hell we got under that,
well,
but we were
part
like,
of my
I said I wanted to be taller in the metaverse.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
That's exactly me and you were talking about. We want to be taller, right? It's like we should start an NFT for that, the Short Ape Club. And just like I've said on my stand-up several times, everybody gets offended but midgets. Like you cannot offend them, and nobody gets offended for them. No, and literally, even though they are short people, you think people would take up for them, but they do not. It's the fucking weirdest thing.
They're kind of like the redheaded stepchild. Everybody just kind of beats him up, throws him around the wall. I know
like
for a
there's a
Christmas
rally
party,
for
somebody
gingers.
asked me to.
Gingers. You know, you gotta be careful. But I feel like I learned that from Theo Vaughn. Is you gotta call them gingers. But I feel like there's a rally for them. There's no rally for fucking midgets, man.
No,
like,
man. No, they're just, and they freak me out. So
they have
it's
the
okay.
greatest personalities though, because you gotta know like you could, and this has zero to do with money, but you could just be in a room full of fucking grumpy ass people, and a midget walks in, you're like, oh shit, it changes everything. What a great feeling. Just knowing it's like, and some of them probably take it the wrong way, but just I know that every time I walk into the room, I'm changing the energy. I'm not bringing the energy down. I'm just changing it.
Dude, and yesterday we also touched on like the scarring that we had. As for me, my youth was that little midget with 3 tits and Total Recall. That's when my midget anti-fetish fucking started.
It was the lady had the 3 tits. It was the midget that was with her. You got to go back and rewatch it. I think. No, it was the lady, and then the midget was with her. I'm like, nice, because that shit fucked me up.
I'm gonna have to go Google that, bro.
If I was Joe Rogan, I'd be like, Jamie, I'm gonna need you to run that back for me. So,
literally from this, I'm gonna go Google that because that's been stuck in my head.
I like that you said, going back though, I like that you said smart money versus dumb money versus new money versus old money. I like that better because here's what I've been trying to really drive into people at the live events that I've been saying. You've heard me say this, but they need to hear it again. Is last year in 2020, we learned how disrespected we are as employees, right? You could have given 10 years of your life to a company like Johnson & Johnson or Hilton Hotels or Google or whoever it was, and they just sent your ass home, oftentimes fired you, and then still went on to report record fucking profits to their shareholders, right? So they fucked you and your family so that they could make the rich richer. That's the fuck they're really doing. And I think a lot of people last year opened their fucking eyes and go, these old money motherfuckers that go publicly traded, because in my opinion, I'm going to go a little deep here. In my opinion, as soon as a company becomes publicly traded, it is no longer in the interest of a public. It is public enemy, because then it becomes interested in the instant. See, we like to think, I own shares of Citibank, therefore I'm a shareholder, and it's a publicly. Bitch, you own 100 shares, 1,000 shares, 10,000 shares. Vanguard, Blackstone, BlackRock, those motherfuckers own 10 billion shares of that motherfucker. You ain't got shit. You ain't calling up the CEO and going, look, as a shareholder, I'm upset. They'll tell you, you can't even get past the fucking secretary. But if the CEO or the fucking fund manager for fucking BlackRock calls in there, that motherfucker, he will stop if he's in the middle of fucking his wife, he will stop and answer that call. You don't got no fucking power over that. And so we learned last year just how disrespected these fucking people are. They don't give a fuck about us. They pretend like they do, but saying something and actions are completely different. And listen, this is what I'm telling you guys if you don't get this, right? Like, the old way of doing shit's dying. That's why they're trying to force us to get vaccines and force us to do all this shit, because they're trying to get us compliant, because they know their fucking old way of doing things is dying. The old way of doing money, the Fed is fucking dying. That's why the Fed's pumping out trillions upon trillions of dollars like they've never done before, because they know they're dying, because Bitcoin and Ethereum are whipping their fucking ass every day, and they don't even have to, and they don't even know who the fuck runs it or owns it, right? Like, we are proving we don't need the government because we just replaced the Fed with a goddamn algorithm. Literally, Janet Yellen is a fucking bitch. We don't fucking need her. And guess what? You know how it fights inflation? By getting traded properly with a fucking really backed asset that fucking works how it's supposed to. It's a perfect system. But so that's the new money. So you guys are trying to do this Dave Ramsey shit, and I'm not disrespecting him. I'm just saying he's teaching you to pay everything with cash. Guess what you got to do if you pay everything with cash? Pay taxes. Right? You start fucking buying crypto and then doing all these DeFi shit that they've got against it, like taking loans against it. You can go. Let me give you an example. You got $100,000 in your bank account. Good. Congratulations. You saved $100,000. Next year, it's worth $990,000, right? If fucking that. Yeah. Like, and at the rate Biden's printing shit, it's worth $590,000 next, or $5,090 next fucking year, right? And so, but if you got crypto, it goes up and down, but it goes up a lot more than it's down. It's up 200% this year.
It's a hedge against inflation.
Whereas you said inflation's down 8%, or the dollar's down 8%. Bitcoin's up 218% for the year, and that's just Bitcoin. That's a stable coin, meaning it's not a shit coin that's fluctuating all over the place. But think about this, okay? So We know that the employers are disrespecting us. We can make money. We don't need to make money trading their stocks anymore. Fuck them.
Exactly.
And anything we can contribute to them. We can make money for fucking people like Brandon that we know by trading fucking crypto. That's the new stock. It's backed by a utility instead of a company. We don't need a job. We can go on OnlyFans. We can go on fucking build a coaching program. We can build a fucking NFT. We can build a community. I like to fly in private jets. I'm not rich enough to fucking afford my own. So I built a fucking basically an NFT and a community around flying with me to make it to where I figured out how to fund my lifestyle without it costing me a fucking arm and a leg. I pay a little bit for it, but nothing. I'm paying $5,000 versus $40,000.
The jet we're taking tomorrow should be twice the price, right?
Exactly. Yep. And I should be having to pay for that, but I figured this out. That's what people are doing right now, because last year, here's what I love about human beings. When you put us up against a fucking wall, we always find a way to eat. The starvingest kids in Africa are still fucking alive because they found a way to fucking eat. Like, we show up, Sally Struthers is fucking filming them, but they're still fucking alive. They found something. It may not have been enough, but when we're against the wall, we find a way to eat. And last year, so many people fucking needed it, and they didn't realize it, but they got forced against the wall. And congratulations, motherfucker, you're still here. You ate.
Dude, and you travel more than the average person. And one of the things you said yesterday, which was really fucking cool, man, is you said, out of all the states that you've traveled to, out of all the stages you speak on, you look around and it's the politics that are dividing us. But you're like, wait a second, we're all the same. Like, everybody wants the same shit. 90% of us just want to be left the fuck alone. Let me do me. You want to get a vaccine? Get a vaccine. You want to go to work? Get a job. Just stop telling me what the fuck to do.
Yep. The vast majority people, they want to be left alone. They don't want to be told what to do, and they want to be free, right? They want to be free to make money how they want to. They want to be free to have a piece of land or a piece of mind and not worry. Like, I mean, we are governed to death. We've got tax law. We've got fucking civil law. We've got criminal law. We got HOAs in our fucking neighborhood. We got leasing agents fucking running the goddamn thing. We got the fucking county, the city, the fucking state, the feds. Like, get the fuck all of y'all. We don't need any of them.
And they need that to keep the stupid money system going.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And that's why smart money, new money is such a fucking threat, because old motherfuckers are dying.
Yep.
Because people like you and I, we had this conversation yesterday. It's like, why would you report $50 million in profits that you're going to have to pay fucking taxes on when you could have given fucking $50 million worth of bonuses to your people? And it would have, like, we were talking about this story in Dan Bilzerian's book where Andrew Beal, who is a Texan, billionaire, lost $700 million to a Turkish, I believe he's a Turkish guy. I think his name is AG. He was a Turkish billionaire in Beverly Hills playing poker. Okay, so $700 million transferred hands from one guy to another, and it made no difference in either one of their lives. It would be no different than you giving me 20 fucking bucks out of your pocket right now, Tony. There's no difference to either one of our lives, right? I'm like, man, they could have fucking given that to their employees. They could have literally bought everybody that works for them a fucking car.
Yep.
A house. Right? They could have bought 700 people a fucking $1 million house.
Ryan, and that mentality of stupid money and old money, it resonates into the way that you conduct your business too. And I'll give you an example. And I'm not a Grant Cardone fan. I don't talk shit on people, but I still think he's a piece of shit. To me, why he was a piece of shit is when COVID hit, what did he do? He fired all his people. He's running SEC scams. He's fucking, I'm not berating him, but the things that he would do is he would prey on senior citizens, give them these income, and he's selling old money products. 6 to 8 fucking % on real estate after he makes his 5%. But he had old money mentality, fired his staff. This billionaire fired his staff of 100. How much fucking money does it take to pay 100 people the wages that he was paying? What did you do? You doubled down. You didn't fire a single person. You have that new money mentality, the smart money mentality, and that's what I want people to understand is if you're chasing these products in this old school system of doing shit, I'm not talking that real estate's bad, owning shit's bad, or syndicating's bad, but if you do it with the right people that have that vision, they're going to start looking, let's put the contract on the blockchain. Let's do the real estate transaction on the blockchain. Let's timeshare this fucking building together. Let's buy cool properties together and chop it up on the blockchain. There's so many creative ways that you can do this shit that it's not just angry ape midgets. It's actual real shit, but you have to have that vision to do it. And that's smart money.
And think, we buy the angry ape and we get on the yacht with these guys. Like, what do you think that conversation happens? What do you think happens, right? You've seen it happen. Yep. You know it, right? That's why you're paying to get there for that conversation. You know, new money is that way. Like, you know, at the end of the year, I see these guys every year get on social media and talk about how rich they are. And, well, I had to buy a yacht or I had to buy a jet. It's like, you could have also taken care of your people.
Yeah.
And I think The human tendency is for the old school human tendency is for us to see land and go, I want all of that. But really, the new school, that's that 40 and up, right? Our generation and older. They see things, they want to own it. They want to like keep people off of it. Like, stay off my grass, motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
The newer generation, they want to share shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they want to make parks instead of fucking farms that you can't go trespassing. You know what I'm saying? They want to. I
collaboration brings out the innovation.
Man, and look, man, I think, okay, so there's 400 people on the Forbes list, right? And most of those motherfuckers are old as shit and look boring as fuck. I think the billionaire crypto list that we're talking about with a couple thousand people on is probably a lot fucking cooler crowd of people to hang out with, and they probably care a lot more. And for them to have gotten that much in crypto, think of how many fucking people they had to have helped along the fucking way to make that shit happen.
And how many jobs they can create by now deploying that money once the government allows that money to get back into the system, because that's the big problem now. These guys are hoarding it because they're like, fuck, I don't want to get raped on taxes the way that I'm going to get if it was traditional money.
Exactly.
So it's interesting, man. It's a whole new world, but it's cool to be riding at the wave at the top with you.
Well, and the reason why, we're talking about this on this episode is like, man, I watched this for my entire career now. Especially when Web 2.0 came out, social media, everybody was telling me, you can't make money for these. They used to say Facebook. I charged $100 a month to write 5 posts a day on Facebook for you. Me, Ryan Stewman, I wrote 5. But if you were to pay me $100, and it was a hard sell, bro. I'm the hardcore closer. It was a hard sell because you did not even value you valued me, so you might give me $100. But you did not value Facebook enough to invest $100 a month for me to fucking management. I have made fucking $50 million from fucking Facebook at this point, and people would give me $100 back then.
That's funny.
And that's fuck crazy, right? But they didn't value it. It's the same thing. They don't value crypto and these NFTs and shit right now. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna make another goddamn 50 with or without you. I'm giving you the fucking
10
game.
years from now,
right
people
now,
will listen to this episode.
Hey, go back and listen to fucking the old Hardcore Closer podcast from 2011. I'm giving you the game of fucking social media 2.0. It's 2021. I'm giving you the fucking game of social media 3.0 right now. I wasn't wrong the first time. I'm not wrong the second time.
I don't think you are.
Tony, man, how do they get a hold of you? If they,
Instagram, the Insider Investor, the Insider Investor on Instagram, and then Facebook, just my name, Tony Kassaei, Kassaei. That's about it, man. From there, you can just kind of tap into me.
And Tony's a good person to follow because they've got him and a few of my other friends have an investor club together where they do meetups, and it's like not a high pressure fucking sales shit. It's like, hey, this is available. This is what we're dumping our money into, and you get to be on the inside to see what they're investing in real time and drop money in if you want as well, which is unique because most of the time motherfuckers are not putting their money in and they're trying to get your money and they're just letting you fucking tag alongside them. I think the big benefit for that, people always say, well, what's the benefit for Sharon's? Because we get the shit funded faster so we get our fucking money back faster.
And you get power, like when we started picking up these Everbowls or whether it was the Crumbles cookies or some of these franchise brands, there's power in syndicating because now you can go to somebody like a Wags, instead of 15 people wasting his time, we have one point of contact, we write him a check for $2.5 million and we get 10 locations, and now we get the premium locations, and he's now incentivized to work with our group. Something that he said that was really, really interesting that I think the listeners can benefit from is it's not just you look at somebody like a Wags or like a you, it's like, all right, well, you guys have your own money. Why do you need other people? Because when he has 50 of our investors, our 50 people are now influencers, if you will. They're tagging the restaurants. They're talking about it. And now he's created instant marketing. So for him, he's very strategic. He doesn't need our money or want it. He's choosing to align himself with us. And I think that's the power of these types of groups. So when people go to like buy a stock or buy a, Enron or not Enron, but let's say you're buying Pepsi stock dude, why not just own the fucking company? Like instead of buying into this fucked up system where everybody else is going to make their money before you make yours, and then you're left holding the bag when all these Wall Street assholes, nothing happens to them, dude. Nothing happened to any one of those assholes who crumbled the system during the recession, and it won't happen this time around either.
Well, let me tell you, speaking of that, I know we were almost done, but let me do So let's say, and I'm just throwing numbers out here because I do not know exactly, but let's say you got 100 grand, because I like that number, that's what we keep throwing out. And you were going to invest it in Starbucks, SBX, right? Or SBUX on the stock ticker, right? So you're going to drop, I think it's SBX. So you're going to drop 100 grand in SBX. So you're going to sit on it. That shit's going to go up 2% a year, maybe 10% one year, and then down 5%. You're going to have up quarters, down quarters, whatever. I'm not sure what they cost, but probably a Starbucks franchise isn't much more than 100 grand, if that.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, not only do you own a franchise, Right? Now you're an owner in the company for real, right? You got a real voice. Your little $100,000 in stocks, you ain't got no goddamn voice. But now all of a sudden you're a franchise owner, so you do have a fucking voice because you're represented by the fucking franchisor, which is usually like a union or a labor management deal, right? So you've got a manager that you report to and everything else. You do have a fucking voice. And now all of a sudden you're a business. You're an LLC. So you could put $100,000 in, and now you own the stock, and it goes up or goes down, and you don't fucking know. Or you could put $100,000 in, and now you own a fucking location, and you hire a fucking operator to run the damn thing for you, and now that bitch is paying you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a fucking month every month, and then you rinse and repeat and buy another franchise and rinse and repeat after a few months and buy another franchise and rinse and repeat. Then you take that big ass fucking portfolio that you got and you get a big ass fucking loan against it and go into massive amount of debts, and you never pay tax again the rest of your life and be rich as fuck.
There you go.
Right? But most people don't know that because old money is, I'm going to invest in the stock market. Man, fuck that. Buy, like you said, buy the company.
Yeah. You know, you see this old guy, Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, he was one of my mentors, if you will. He doesn't know it, but like I read all his books and I understand what he did. But it's such an old school way, right? This little old dude that owns all these companies now, and he acquired them. But at the end of the day, that system is broken. The traditional system of Wall Street, that doesn't mean everybody's bad. There's great financial advisors, there's great firms, but at the end of the day, the whole system is kind of like a pyramid scheme. It's just, they got the top, and they're putting out these shitty products, and they're programming you into thinking 5 to 7, 8, 9, 10% is even fine, and it's really not, man.
It's not, because as a person with some money, the thing about this, a lot of people get money. They think they get money from inheritance or lottery winning type of shit. Something happened, you slip, trip, and spill fucking money all over me or whatever the fuck, right? And so they think, if I got a big record deal or something, it's like if I got a big amount of money, I would spend a big amount of money or blah blah blah. But man, it's like people don't really understand. Money comes in these small ass increments over a long period. It's not going to come in some big ass windfall. Like I said, you got $100,000, which some of you might be a lot of money, some of you might not. It's like you start a business with $100,000, right? And now all of a sudden you're in the Starbucks business, right? But it might be fucking 6 or 8 years before you've really got a fucking $10 million portfolio going at it fucking heavily, right? But nobody's just stepping in overnight and picking that up. That's the thing. It's like everybody wants to see.
And when they do, it doesn't last. You and I both know a ton of millionaires over there. Those motherfuckers end up hookers on cocaine or dead or broke. And I had 2 lottery winners when I was a financial advisor, and I started doing research on it. It turns out 3 out of every 5 lottery winners filed for bankruptcy within 5 years. And sure enough, 2 of my guys, one of them listened, did exactly what I said, did a 20-year plan, bought a couple of cool things, got private lessons with Tiger Woods and a huge 5-carat rock, and then they saved the rest. And now he's still got the money. The other family, they were Hispanic. This was the first time they got money. I'm like, don't buy anything expensive. Fucking the next week, they got spinner rims on. The little 5-year-old has a Louis Vuitton bag. I'm like, they had 8 people living in one house, and now they got literally spinner rims on an Escalade, and they're broke right now. So it's fucked up when people get it too fast. And it happened to me too. When the money comes in fast and quick and easy, you don't value it. You didn't bust your ass. You didn't have those nights when you're like, fuck, my checking account's overdrawn and I'm trying to pay for dinner for a client. Like, how fucked up was that? That movie with Will Smith,
Pursuit of
Happiness, dude. That movie was dead my life. I mean, he starts at Morgan Stanley, but that's the way financial advisors were. When I got hired, I couldn't even afford a suit. So I'm sitting here stapling the bottom of my suit so that I can go return it to Nordstrom's if I don't get the job. And here I am trying to get $1 million clients, right? Yep. And I'm parking my car around the corner because I got my old dad's beat up Toyota truck. I was embarrassing to go to the dude's house and say, hey, give me $1 million to invest for you. But that's what financial advisory is and was. You can fog a mirror, they'll let you manage money because it's commissions, it's fees. It goes up, and you're not selling good products.
Dude, it's your character, not theirs.
That's it.
It's always on
that's
you,
it.
not the fun.
It's always You never hear the CEO crying on TV.
Man, I don't think I ever told this story, but it's not hiding it. I just never really thought about it. But like the first, maybe it's definitely the first month, but maybe even the first fucking week that I went from washing cars to doing mortgages. Okay, it's the same thing. You see, you was stapling your suit. I didn't even own. I own car wash clothes, which is boots and a fucking polo shirt, right? And a polo shirt said car wash. So I literally showed up to the mortgage bank with a fucking car wash shirt on, right?
Okay.
It's like close enough, which would technically be really fucking trendy and cool by today's standards, but then not so much, right? And it's like one of those
You're buying
things,
it
like,
at a
what's
thrift
cool
shop
to
for
do when you're
$50.
rich, but not when you're poor, right? Type of things, right? So, and so I show up in this car wash shirt, and I had this green 1997 F-150. Let me tell you how I got this F-150. I'm paying $212 a month for this F-150 because the only way I got it financed is because my grandfather, now mind you, I'm adopted, my dad's adopted, and his real dad died. Okay, so I don't even know this motherfucker. And we just find out in the middle of the night one night, it's like, your dad's died. It's like, fuck, I didn't even know he was still alive. Like, my dad's saying this, right? It's like, fuck, I didn't even know he was still fucking alive. It's like, holy shit. So we go to the hospital, and this motherfucker's like, dying wish is that we don't fucking sell his truck or some fucking stupid-ass guy that lets kids get adopted anyway, right? But I needed a truck, and I was like, well, fuck it, well, your wish is my command. You know what I'm saying? It fucking works out. I might even not even pay for this motherfucker. I mean, he's dead. Fuck him. I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might not even pay for it and just drive it around. But I called Ford, and I said, hey, I'm going to drive it, so I need to put my name on here so I get the insurance. Old man's dead, blah, blah, blah. And they said, well, we'll finance it for you. I've been with Ford ever since, by the way, right? Since 99. This would have been 2002. And so Ford finances this truck for me, right? I finally signed the note on let's say that it was September, and I'm working at the car wash. October 1st, let's say I started the fucking mortgage job, right? So I barely made my first $212 payment. I'm out of fucking money. I just started the mortgage company, and I let my wife at the time borrow, she was my girlfriend at the time, borrow this truck one day for work, right? Mm-hmm. She had a brand new car. She's a hairstylist. I didn't touch her money at the time. She was my girlfriend. She needed my truck to move something. She brought it back, fucking engine blown. So it would crank and it would run, but the pin in the engine was blown. So it's only a matter of time for this shit. But you could hear like I had to drive that motherfucker for like fucking 45 days with the engine. At any moment, it'd have been like a 9mm firing out of the fucking hood where that piston was gone. And I sold it for nothing. I traded it, and the guy literally was like, "I can give you $200 for his fucking scrap metal." It was a single cab fucking, but like I literally, and people be like, "Hey man, you want to meet for lunch?" It's like, "Yeah, bro, can I ride with you?" Yeah, you know, it's like that embarrassing, you know, But you find it. Hey, humans back against the wall. We find a way to eat, baby. I'm still here. We always find a way to eat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And those were the kids that would make it at the firm too, right? Yep. That I remember my sales manager always said, if you come into this type of career, any sales job, if you have a parachute, you might as well fucking pull the ripcord right now and just bounce out. He was like, just leave. If you're thinking if this doesn't work out, you're going to work for your daddy's company, go fucking do that right now. But if you have no other option other than waking up tomorrow and figuring out how to do this job, you'll make it. Yep. And the dude said, he goes, there were 700 of us in the World Trade Center 2 weeks before the planes came in. Morgan Stanley had the headquarters, and the CEO stood up, Jack something at the time, and he said, guys, 95% of you in this room will not be here in 12 months. That's just the business model. Literally 95. And at the end of that time period, there was exactly 64 people left, and I was number 8. And the dude that's in prison right now, my former partner, was number 12. And that's how we started at that firm. But we both had that hustler mentality. He was an immigrant. I was an immigrant. Me being a financial advisor was something that was outside of the realm of thinking. I thought it was something that you had to have rich white parents or, go to Harvard for. And here I was, had the opportunity, and I made everything of it. So letting it all go made it that much fucking harder because you wake up one day, you're like, what the fuck is my identity now? You were a financial advisor for 23 years. But that's why I wanted to do this. And, the call to action that I have right now is with the show that I have, the Insider Show, is I want people to come be whistleblowers. And I was talking to Zach Hughes about this from whether it's military people on the inside of sports, or like, let's start exposing shit and talking about those uncomfortable conversations because there's millions of podcasts out there. And everybody talks. Let's talk about that, right? And one of the things I pride myself on, and you've given me a platform, and it's like people coming up to me and be like, man, by you talking about all that shit, it's helped me stop losing money. That makes me feel better than making any money. Because if I can save somebody the pain of what I went through, that's what I want to do.
Well, man, we both just trying to save the world one person at a time. And if you're listening to this, you're that one person today. Make sure you share this show, like it, send Tony a friend request, follow him on Instagram and all that. We'll catch you on the next episode. Rise above.
Take care. That's awesome, homie. Thank you.